Hey, Raj.
Hey, Phil, how are you?
I'm good. Or should it be Dorothea Frosting? Dot Frosting.
Oh, you saw that this morning, did you?
I did, yeah. Couldn't help but mention it. Do you want to explain what that is?
So apparently there's this new meme going around where it's a new version of your drag name, which is your grandmother's name followed by the last sweet thing you ate. And I thought mine turned out really well, so I think she's going to need to be invented during this lockdown.
Well, mine's Dorothy as well then, in that case. Dorothy Chocolate.
We're dot sisters.
I love it. So how are you? How are you coping with self-isolating and social distancing?
Oh, it's fine. I'm just getting a little bored of it. I actually started this on the 11th in Austin,
Right.
with one plane ride in between coming home. Yeah, I'm a little bored of it now. I'm working from home all the time, which doesn't really suit me. I like being in the office just to burn some calories and get some exercise in. But yeah, I'm kind of falling into a routine now. But just like anybody else, I'm hoping that we can get back to life as normal. Very
it's all a bit surreal, isn't it? It's the, I don't know, it's the cabin fever that if you're not used to that, it can be really difficult. It's the mental health, isn't it, I suppose? Yeah.
So, just trying to make the most of a weird situation, and hopefully it's been nice and sunny out. This virus will get killed and go away, hopefully, if people
well, I suppose the good thing is that we're all in this together. We're all doing it together, which is why it's so great to do these Instagram streams, because we don't normally do it this way. We normally do it where you come here and we do it here in the studio, and then it gets broadcast on Gaydio as well. So it's a little bit different this way, but I kind of enjoy this. I'm enjoying the novelty of it.
To be honest, I've probably seen most of my friends on video way more than I see them in real life lately. So that's kind of been fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I just quickly say hello to a few people? Dave Octave Sings, and also Ben as well. Vegan Blogger 78. Just a few people have just logged in. If you don't know what we do here, normally we do film reviews and movie premiere coverage over at Boys on Film London on Instagram. That is also broadcast on Gaydio, which is a show that I do every Sunday between 1 and 4. So check us out on our websites. Do you want to give a quick mention to everybody about your website, Raj?
Yeah, so I run eqmusicblog.com. We've been a new music website that's been going for like 15 years now. All new music all the time, pop, electronic, indie. And we teamed up with you, Phil, a couple years ago, and we created this Boys on Film channel to help scratch our itch about all the movies that we know and love. Phil and I would mostly go out and see gigs together, but we'd end up talking about movies. So we just thought it would be a good thing to do. So yeah, all the love and attention that Phil puts into the videos, we also publish those on eqmusicblog.com as well.
So you're covering movies as well as music on eqmusicblog.com, which is great. Yep. I should say also that we don't always agree on these movies. So our verdicts are usually quite different, aren't they?
Yeah, I think there's a real common ground, though, when it comes to independent LGBT plus films. However, you're a big horror aficionado. I'm a big superhero movie aficionado.
I'm trying. I'm just really trying to get to understand that, but I
we find our common ground in the film festival circuit. So I think that's what makes it work.
So we should say that the two movies that you're going to be talking about today, because I haven't seen them, I did actually start to watch one of them, but I fell asleep. I'm exhausted at the moment. There's so much going on in my life, which I'm not even going to touch on because it's just all very boring. But Lazy Susan is the first one. This is already out in the US, isn't it?
Yeah, I actually saw it on demand. I think it was just one of those movies that was slated to come out in the small markets around the time when coronavirus happened. So I think they just released it on demand. But yeah, it stars Sean Hayes from Will and Grace fame playing Lazy Susan. He's playing a female character and probably the worst drag you've ever seen in your life with zero effort put into it whatsoever, set in a world of maybe disbelief. But yeah, he plays Susan. She doesn't have a lot going on in her life. She doesn't get along with her family, and basically she's come to the conclusion that, you know what? She just wants a little bit more out of life and goes on the hunt for a man and turning her life around. And it's just very dry, humorous comedy along the way. It's kind of my type of movie.
Yeah, it's a real indie feel, isn't it? It's like an indie film feel about it. I started watching the first half an hour. As I say, I fell asleep. Terrible. It wasn't any reflection on the film itself. But when you mention the drag aspect, because obviously he's dressed as a woman. He's playing a cisgender woman, right, in this?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was, I don't know whether that was problematic for a lot of people, because I don't know whether that kind of, it feels a bit outdated. I don't know whether it was just meant to be a charming look at a woman's life. I don't know whether, I don't know what the whole premise of it was. I don't know why the idea started.
I think it's probably a character that he just invented, maybe in his comedy part of life. I haven't done a lot of research into the movie, but it does kind of feel like a Saturday Night Live kind of character, if you will.
Yeah.
And you know, Sean Hayes, Just Jack from Will and Grace, is a bit always OTT, over the top, larger than life sort of figure, and for him to play someone so dry and mundane and you know, delivers a lot of black comedy humor. It was quite funny. I was actually quite transfixed on the whole movie. It had that sort of 8th grade sort of vibe.
I know what you mean. I thought that as well. It's got a certain feel about it, isn't it? It's not necessarily a blockbuster movie by any means. It's
no,
very low key.
Yeah, if anything, you'll have to search this out on demand somewhere. But it's my kind of movie. Like, this would be something that we would go to like a Soho screening rooms and, you know, have a little laugh watching the film, and then talk about some of the one-liners. But there are a couple scenes in here which are just hilarious. Like, you know, she finds love, and then turns out the guy is cheating on his wife with her, and, you know, it just it's one spiral after another, and it's all about Susan just trying to find herself in life and get a job and find some camaraderie with her friends, who she seems to piss off left, right, and center without even trying. So
it's got an amazing cast, isn't it? I mean, we've got Alison Janney in there from I, Tonya.
Yeah.
We've got Matthew Broderick, who understandably hasn't got a massive role. He's got quite a cameo role. Felt a bit shoehorned from what I saw. It just felt like he was just there just for the name. I don't know whether they're friends. Maybe they're friends.
It was quite funny because when I saw that Matthew Broderick was in it, I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I really like Matthew. And then I started watching the movie and didn't realize to the very end that's when you see him for like 5 minutes. So
blink and you'll miss it.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think? What would you say star rating wise? Would you give it out of 5?
I would probably give it a solid 3 stars. You know, for me personally, like, I have about 250 movies in my unwatched queue right now that I've highlighted as like, oh, I want to watch this movie. Oh, I want to watch this movie. Oh, I want to watch this movie. And this would be a movie that might sit in my watch queue for a while, but I kind of wanted to do start with a newer movie and then an older movie and then a newer movie and then eventually meet up in the middle, and trying to get through my queue. So that's why I watched Lazy Susan straight away. But yeah, definitely 3 stars from me. I just quite enjoyed it. I mean, what else do we got to do right now except...
Well, exactly. I was just going to say, because a lot of people are looking for stuff to watch online. And ironically, I'm actually busier more than ever at the moment. I'm doing a lot of editing, a lot of content creation. So it's great that I'm keeping busy, and I kind of prefer to do that. But I dream of the days that I can sit down and watch movies, because I've got a dog as well, a little puppy that's going crazy. He's 11 months old. I don't always have the time to do it, but I'm making myself do it. Obviously, we've got to do it for Boys on Film.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm getting through them. You know, I doubt I'll get through my 250. If I get through my 250 movies during lockdown, that means we're in lockdown for a long time.
Yeah, don't even think about that. But the second movie is Banana Split. This is not to be confused with Banana Splits, the movie, which came out a while back, recently, a few months ago. This is a high school drama. Tell us about this. Is it a comedy?
Yeah, it's another sort of like dark comedy as well. You know, I'm a sucker for a high school movie comedy.
Yeah.
I love my classic John Hughes, but I'm really fascinated by, you know, how kids interact today, as compared to like when we went to high school, during the Breakfast Club and Pretty in Pink years. This film was getting a lot of buzz from the TIFF, the Toronto International Film Festival. I'm quite a fan of Dylan Sprouse, whose twin brother is in Riverdale. So I was definitely wanted to check this movie out. It's just basically about two girls who are both dating the same guy. One breaks up with him. The other girl becomes his new girlfriend, and then they actually become really good friends, and all sorts of drama ensues from their friendship. And it's just it's one of those movies that is endearing. I sat down to watch it. I quite liked it. It was really cute and funny. Not quite as over the top as like Booksmart is.
I was just thinking of that movie, which we both love that film.
Yeah, but it has a really nice indie film feel to it. It's a cute story. I really liked it. I would recommend it if you like good high school comedy like I do, with a little bit of a dark twist to it, a little bit of teen angst. You might like it too. So she breaks up with her boyfriend, played by Dylan Sprouse. He immediately goes out and finds another girlfriend, and of course it's all like I'm going to stalk her on social media, and she looks at a few of the posts, and they meet at a party, and surprisingly they don't hate each other straight away. They're kind of like, they're kind of kindred spirits, and they make a pact not to talk about the boyfriend. Of course that doesn't really work for a while, and it's mostly about the drama in between that, and it's sort of like the boyfriend's best friend, who's also friends with both of them, that causes a little bit more friction and choosing sides, and it is your kind of typical high school comedy, but it's just really apt, I think, for right now. It's one of those movies that, again, I wouldn't rush out to see it in the theater, but it's been getting a lot of indie buzz lately, and rightly so, because I think this movie will resonate with everyone from our age to the kids today.
So have you any idea why it's called Banana Split?
Because very loosely they share a banana split in the movie. So and I think maybe the boyfriend's the banana and the split is the two girls.
Yeah. Probably not best to think about that too much.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that too hard until you just asked me that. Like, maybe I know now why it's called.
Crash your cymbals. Amazing. So Banana Split and Lazy Susan, Lazy Susan is out already on demand. Banana Split hopefully soon. Because a lot of these, these production companies and these film companies are bringing out the films even sooner now, obviously with coronavirus and the pandemic. Yeah,
it's a real shame right now, because a lot of these indie films probably won't even get the small indie runs in the independent film cinemas like Landmark Cinemas and stuff in the States. So it's really it's a real shame that they're going straight to on demand, but it's probably not a bad idea, because I think the secondary market is where a lot of indie films make a lot of their money, and maybe they recoup their costs in the in their small initial independent movie theater runs. Big tentpole properties like Wonder Woman and Black Widow and James Bond, they're gonna hold off those movies until the theaters reopen, because otherwise they have potential of losing out on $1 billion+ when that happens. But it's really nice to see the real good indie film festival films that we all know and love with our heart, being made available straight away. I mean, it's been really sad that the film festivals have been canceled. It ruined our plans for BFI Flair.
Yeah.
We got to see a few of those films online. I watched The Lawyer the other day, loved it. South by Southwest was canceled. I was actually there during its cancellation, so that didn't happen. But apparently they're putting the movies on Amazon Video pretty soon for free for everyone, and I hope that means everyone in the international market as well, because we deserve to see those movies as well. So I think it's imminent. We're waiting for the dates to be released on that. But, through all this, it's I think Sean mentioned this the other day too from Unflopped. He's like, he's really been delving into like the Curzon home cinema service, which I have as well. I also checked out Sophie TV, which is It's kind of like a short service for kind of like a Netflix for short movies. So I watched a few things on there. I never was a member of the BFI player online. I mean, mostly because, you and I go to the BFI film festivals every year. But yeah, I took out a free subscription and ended up signing up for that. I watched a few movies on there as well. So it's kind of interesting. We're having a little bit of renaissance of a film, even though we can't physically go into the theaters and watch them. But it made me go online and, BFI London Film Festival is still slated for October now, so I put those dates in my diary.
I think it's a massive learning curve, isn't it? It's going to change the way we behave and change the way that we kind of respect filmmakers as well, because obviously so many people are suffering, not just from the film industry, but people worldwide with this horrendous pandemic. And, it's a knock-on effect. It's like a domino effect. It's starting to harm more industries. But you're right, because BFI Flare, obviously we can see a lot of those films on the BFI Flare at Home player, which is available online, and thank God for the internet. Do you know what I mean? It's just amazing that we can do that. We've got the ability to share our thoughts on stuff too with social media.
Absolutely. So I can't wait till this is over and we can go to the movies again, but I kind of feel like this is a nice pause at the same time for me to catch up on all the great film that I've missed, because we can't watch everything we want to see. It's just impossible. Like, there'll always be a movie that I want to see. So now that we're taking a little bit of pause, maybe I can catch up on some of them. So.
Yeah. And you mentioned BFI Flare. We've got another chat with Sean tonight at 8:30. I'm trying to think of a way we could, maybe if you're around, we can bring you in too, because somebody told me that you can have up to 6 people on these Instagram streams. I'm not sure if that's true or not, because I always see just 2 people. Yeah. But Sean's going to join us at 8:30, and we've got more Flare stuff to cover as well over the next week or so, 2 weeks.
Absolutely. So yeah, there's a few films on the BFI player that I want to watch, so we should coordinate our efforts there. Yeah,
and maybe we can invite some of these people who are in the chat bit here at Instagram. Maybe we could do a quiz or something at some point, because it'd be good to say hello to all these people, because they're just scrolling up and I can't see because my eyesight's terrible. The text is too small. But yeah, hello to everybody, and thank you all for coming on. And don't forget, you can see us at filmmarriott.net and eqmusicblog.com, which is Raj's site. Rather brilliant site, I have to say.
And follow us on Boys on Film London too.
Yeah, Boys on Film London, Instagram, and all our details for socials are on our websites too. Thank you everybody for watching. Stay safe and see you soon, Raj.
See ya. Bye, Phil. Bye, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye now.